All right, then it's time for the third episode. And as I said, I'm going to be doing a row of Channel Islands and then, something else at the end. So this one is about the Isle of Man's flag. Um, so the three, it's a red flag with what looks like a spiral of three, for lack of better words, knight's legs, or greaves, um, in what's called a Triskelion, which is basically it's an old Cypriot kind of Grecian Sicilian word or whatever for basically a spiral basically. Rotational symmetry spiral. This is me reading off it again because my short-term memory, it can be flimsy, especially when I skim read, which is my own stupid fault. I think actually, weirdly enough, I think Sicily does have a similar flag. Um, Something to do with some paladin thing, or if you're Italian, paladino. Um, so yeah, the legs represent the Manx coat of arms. The flag has officially been in use since 1932, and the Manx word or title for the flag itself is the Bratag Vanin. Yeah, and the coat of arms is even older than jerseys. It goes back to the early 13th century and is depicted on the sword of state, which records Scottish occupation in the island in that century. Yeah, I might have said. Well, I know I mentioned the Scottish. Actually, yeah, I think it applies to both. Yeah, the Scottish occupation of Jersey when it was in between the whole neutrality thing during the Hundred Years' War, and a little fun fact about if you're into your other generation comedies like I am, Brian Murphy from Man About the House, Robin's Nest, George and Mildred, um, was also from the Isle of Man, and they also had a little sketch on the Fast Show, um, which was basically just them saying, "I'm from the Isle of Man." For some reason, that was funny. I didn't quite get it because I watched reruns of it, and when I was little, it was still sort of on later on. Yeah, not much else to say about that flag. So next one is going to be about, of course, another Channel Island. Before I move on to one that's not a Channel Island, or even to do with places that are technically England in this case, anyway. So yeah, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and so on and so forth, and I'll see you in the next one.